I came from a really small town, and so when I first got to college, I saw a lot of people who represented a diverse cross-section of the world. And I think it was the first time coming from a town of, fewer than 4,000 people that I started to really want to learn more about those folks and wanted to explore the world. And I think that really shaped my career. There's this saying that says, oftentimes you don't know what you don't know. And I think for me, when I got to college, you certainly realize that there was a lot of things you didn't know still, but now I knew what I didn't know. So I think that it made me realize that there's a lot of answers to questions in unconventional places. There are answers to questions outside the geographical boundaries with which we're comfortable and familiar. And it just made me want to go explore and learn more. Even those things I didn't necessarily learn in college, I think it really started to ignite a passion to become a lifelong learner. I was lucky to have great mentors, and I think one of the mentors very early on in my career, in my education in college, really encouraged me to write. And it was interesting, at the time it was just writing for the sake of writing, and he always would make this point that it helps you consolidate your thoughts, and it actually really enhances the way that you think about things. You're not just parroting what other people are saying, you're starting to create your own novel points of view around the world. So it became something that really stuck with me. Just writing as much as possible, journaling initially earlier on in my life, but then making sure that I could always write about things, and it forced me to fully understand what I was trying to understand. So it was a different way of approaching things. And that really stuck with me. It's the piece of advice I always give people as well, whether they're interested in advancing their career in medicine or in the media. Just keep writing. Write for the sake of writing. It's going to force you to approach, I think, your whole learning differently. I think you maybe counterintuitively are forced to learn even more so when you're a mentor. I mean, nobody challenges you more than your students, certainly, and I take students through operations of the brain and the spine, and they're constantly challenging you. So you know that you have this great impact potentially on people's lives, and that's very gratifying. But I think your mentees, if you will, or your students, constantly make you better as well. I think higher education is very important to the future of the entire world, and it's interesting because I think a lot of people look at higher education nowadays, and it's become very transactional in the way that they think about it. They think, I am going to invest this much time, I'm going to spend this much money. At the end of it, what am I getting in return? And I think when you think about higher education, it's one of those things that you can't make so transactional. There's a lot of subjective benefits that come from it. It can't just be about what kind of job am I going to get at the end of that higher education. And I think that's a thing worth reminding students of all the time, and people who are thinking, is college worth it anymore? Reminding them that it's not just those tangible things that you can necessarily put on a piece of paper, but you as a person are likely to change and transform into someone that you didn't even realize you could be before you started. So I think it's important to the United States. I think it's important to the world. And I think now, as we have become a more globalized society, it's more important than ever.